Little update. Got the old feed line today. This thing is cool, man. It's got a cover on it, and the texture is really crazy. It's like rubber kind of, but it's see-through. You can see there's a little steel braided line in the hose. Let's see if I can find it. This is the one I was running before. And if you guys are familiar with K series, you'll see why I had to change to this hose. So with a sidewinder, so this used to go here. With a sidewinder, the turbo sits over here on this side. So obviously this is gonna be way too freaking long, you know. So yeah, if anybody's looking for a -3 feed line, I got one. Anyways, this one's 14-inch. Maybe could have gone 12, but that leaves a little wiggle room if you know, if we decide to do anything different with the cube. This is an Acuity oil cube. I don't think they make them anymore, but damn, if they do, you guys should jump on. It makes life so easy. Just for the pure fact that this is called British thermal pipe thread, or BSTB is what these two are, and these are 8th NPT. So yeah, man, it makes life really easy. This is titanium also, so it's super strong for what it is. Also got a -10 return line bone, ICT billet. Love their stuff. I always get their fittings and their weld bungs and anything I can from ICT billet. It's always been great. So what I think I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna open this real quick. I think what I'm gonna do with this is I think we're gonna put it right here and probably grind that down. So I got another cover here. We kind of see what it's gonna look like. So what I'm thinking about is having the oil return, you know, right here. So the bung would be poking through right here, and then the oil can return back to the pan through there. Oh, sorry, it's on this side. So let's flip that back over. It'd be right here. My bad. So obviously the other way around. So yeah, I'll put it right there. You know, right about there. And then run a 120 degree -10 fitting, and that'll come right up to the turbo, the bottom of the turbo. It keeps it above the oil line. I guess I could put it in the front of the oil pan. That might be easy, but that's still super easy, just as easy. And if I don't like it or it doesn't work, then we'll just plug it or chop it off and weld it shut. Also, thanks to my buddy Juan, I had the K-Tune AC and power steering set up, and he had this, and I wanted a electric water pump because it makes plumbing. I'm thinking about putting this facing forward for the rear wheel drive stuff, and it'll make plumbing a lot easier, hopefully. I got another buddy of mine, Dan Juan, who's got a D17 alternator, so we'll run a D17 alternator on here, and then hopefully this will clear and I can just run the coolant hose coming out forward. The radiator's gonna be sitting right in front right here. So yeah, that's a quick update. We'll get to welding this bung on, I suppose. Welding this bung on. Got a couple injectors to clean today. So yeah, it's coming along pretty good. Got the wastegate on. I'm itching to make my wastegate dump for some reason. We got some 2.5-inch stainless tubing right here. I think it's called UJ and L. It's a UJL piece. Anyways, you get all the bends that you want. You can just cut this however long and prep it, and we'll see if we can't get some pretty colors. But she's big. That's a big old wastegate outlet. 2.5-inch. It's crazy. And we got Doug Palmer's head. We're gonna swap over to this one. This is the head that this motor made 1,000 on Joe over at Low Cash's Dyno. This is the head that was on the block. It just had some simple BC like 80-pound valve springs. I run a stock Z1 cam, K20 Z1 from the 0506 Type S, and so I didn't really need a whole lot of valve spring, and I really wasn't revving until I was only revving at like 9100. So yeah, did just fine with that head, but now this is a full Super Tech head on here. Has been for a little while now. So we're gonna hook Doug up. Doug's doing a K20A2 setup in his car, and hopefully Gavin can help him out, because God knows I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, that's it for the update. Quick one, I suppose. I don't know how I'm gonna hold this, though. I don't know. Maybe just leave it alone. What do you guys think? Leave it alone or find some way to hold it? Maybe right there. A little bracket or something to hold the hose or hold this feed line. I kind of want it over here. I'll just tighten it right there. Yeah. I don't want to get any closer than it has to all the hot bits. You know, might not be good for it. Probably won't live a long life if it's near all the hot parts like that. Yeah, that might work. Talk to who did I talk to? Why am I forgetting who I talked to? Fuck, I don't remember. QuickTime. Bill Hencher took his rear-wheel drive or his K-Series to GM Auto Kit back. Really cool dude. You know, he didn't have to take that back at all. So yeah, really cool guy. He understood where I was coming from and what I was doing, and you know, the plans changed and stuff like that, and I never did anything with the kit, so all the stuff was still in the package. So yeah, Bill Hencher's took the kit back, and we're just gonna go with the custom bell housing from QuickTime, kind of like I mentioned before, and I'll end up reusing this radiator. I had done some Dash 16 fittings on it a while back. Those glorious welds. Not really, but they don't leak. Gets the job done, and you know, I do all this stuff myself. It is what it is. You know, you learn as you go. There's the 9-inch. I cut the flanges off of it. It's ready for my fabricator to modify, cut it down, and put new ends on it and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's coming along. I'm not sitting idle on it. I'm gonna try and get better updating as I go, in case anybody else is curious about doing this kind of stuff, this swap. Dustin Isaacs made the manifold, and it's gorgeous. All the welds, all the pretty welds and stuff like that. It's just amazing. And yeah, they've had this on a rear-wheel drive setup before. He had to make a rear-wheel drive setup for somebody, so he already knew, you know, how to fit everything. Because with the Gangster Lean manifolds, are meant for the turbo to be facing this way. So the Gangster Lean manifold is meant to have the kind of compressor kind of cocked this way. So yeah, they probably will work, but they angle this flange in like this. So where this flange sits flat, like level with the top of the valve cover, this flange is flat, and the Gangster Lean ones kind of tilt in. So it was like, man, you know, he hooked it up with a good price on it. It's all Schedule 40 stainless, big open T4 flange, and then I welded on. I didn't know what wastegate I was gonna go with. I just ended up going with Precision 66 because that's what I was using last time. Unfortunately, I sold it with my old Sidewinder. You know, I gave the guy a good deal. You know, whatever, it is what it is. But you know, it'd be a pain in the ass for him to have to find a 66 if I sell him the whole deal. He doesn't have to find one at least. But yeah, and then the up pipe, I'm sure you guys have seen it hanging around. It's over here in the weld area. Bring this bad boy up. So this is my 125 housing. That's a 1.0 housing that's on the turbo. This is a 125 housing that came off the turbo. It might go back on. I don't know. The whole deal was I couldn't leave very high because the K24 makes all kinds of torque. So it liked to blow the tires off in the front wheel drive setup. So I went with a one. So I couldn't leave high on boost because it would just blow the tires off. So I went with a 1.0 so I could still leave relatively low on boost. And then when I command, 20 PSI at the beginning of second gear, or 25 PSI, it doesn't take forever to spool it. But since being rear wheel drive, I might go back to the 125 housing. That's a comp 6785. But anyways, that's kind of how the up pipe looked. I just chopped up, the old up pipe, and I kind of mocked it, but I don't really like it. I don't like how it goes like this, then that. It should just come straight and then angle out the hood like that. Oh, I'm gonna mess with it. It was just me messing around with it. But yeah, something like that. And then I'm thinking the wastegate dump tube will come, it's gonna sit right about here. So the wastegate dump tube will come out, over, and then just kind of up right next to it, or maybe up and over and then out right next to it. You know how those guys do their up pipe. So we'll make it look nice. I might even weld it to this, put them so close that they weld together. So anyways, yeah, not too shabby. Little hole in the front, return right down to the oil pan. Don't mind that little ledge because it's not all the way up against the block. So it'll return above the oil line now from the valve cover. Let's go see how it looks. Man, I know it looks like crap, but yeah, fuck it. Yeah, more or less. So yeah, dash and bung up and around this way to the bottom of the turbo. Should be a pretty sweet little setup. I think I have some crank pulleys so that you guys can see how close it gets. Yeah, here's one. Why not? Crank pulley. Yeah, plenty of room. So should be good to go. Stuff just now. Let's check it out. Uh-oh. Here we go. Let's check out the new clutch. Also, boom. The guys at Action Clutch didn't even know that what got them printed this big. Yeah. I don't know where we're gonna put them. Maybe I'm thinking maybe on the side of the car, maybe on the door. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. They thought we were just gonna print little ones, some 12 inchers or something like that. Buddy of mine, LA Printing. He made them 36 by 9 inch decals, 2 of them in red, same red that they use. They did give us the rights, to print our own decal for the sponsorship. So I don't think they expected them to be that big. So yeah, I don't know if we're just gonna do one on the back window, one on the top of the back window, something along the lines of that. That'd be pretty cool. But we have 2 of them, so we might do bottom of the door or somewhere here on the quarter panel. I don't know. Anyways, let's get to the clutch. What am I doing over here? Geeking out about stickers. And we got a clutch right here. I'm not expecting anything too crazy looking, but you never know. These guys could, Eric over at Action Clutch, they could, you know, make some kind of crazy stuff that would just catch me way off guard. Should just be like a normal twin disc with just a GM26 spline on the disc, but it's still something though. It's a pretty big deal for the update because we've been waiting on this clutch to get some final measurements on the back of the engine to be able to measure the bell house to be able to order the bell housing at the correct measurement at the correct depth. Hey, there we go. SFI. SFI approved. So, in case you guys didn't know, everything that I race has to be SFI approved. Not that they're going to go in and check it, but you never know. At some competition, some serious competition somewhere, they may go in and check the SFI approval on your clutch. So, yeah. GM twin disc, K-Series twin disc, GM splines. Man, here's the box. I'm excited. You guys are seeing this the first time I'm seeing it. I haven't opened it. Just opened it just now for you guys. Cool. Stay gripping, fools. That's a cool sticker right there. That might go on the TIG welder. That's cool. The guys over at Action have always been super cool to me. Some of you guys may have known, may not have known, but they did sponsor me 2 years in a row. Pedal stop. And that was a few years back. Oh, tell me they made a custom input shaft with GM spline alignment tool just for me. I think they did. That has to be, because that's not K-Series right there. So they made that custom alignment tool. Man, that is crazy. A custom alignment tool for a clutch that doesn't even exist, and they still send it to me. I was just gonna use the input shaft from the transmission because it's detachable on a lenco. I was just gonna use that input shaft to align it, but man, yeah, Action Clutch is badass. I think this is just a K-Series throwout bearing, but I told them and they know that I'm gonna use a hydraulic throwout bearing, but it's still cool for them to provide it, just in case we end up having to use some portion of this or this bearing itself. Yeah, that's just a normal K-Series throwout bearing. It would go on the K-Series fork, which, still is a possibility of using the K-Series fork. So it's good to have just in case we do end up using that instead of a hydraulic throwout bearing. I don't know where I put my knife. Nope, there it is. Yeah, let's get in there. Let's get in on it. Whoa, what was that? Some billet. Woo! Wow, holy cow. This thing is cool, man. Anodized billet aluminum, which I'm sure they all are, but man, I don't know, something about that red just is crazy looking. Look at that. Wow, I want to take it out, but I don't want to yard sell all the goodies, All right. Let's get this thing out of here. Let's get a better look at it over here on the table. Man, that's cool. That just hits you, doesn't it? Whoa. This thing is fucking solid, man. All right, I'm gonna get it on the table real quick. Wow, look at that. Oh, those discs are super thick in there. Dang. Put my nose, some injector O-rings. Wow, man. This is gonna be cool. So yeah, the thing that's special about this clutch is, and I don't know how many times I've said it, is the spline itself is 26 spline GM. And we had to kind of figure this whole deal out. Yep, 26 spline GM. And where's that pilot bearing? There it is. No. Wah, wah. That's okay. So that's a Honda pilot bearing. So that's 26 spline right there. You just keep wrapping tape around this until it gets snug on that pilot bearing. But I'll probably end up using the input shaft. So this is probably just a regular GM clutch alignment tool. So, man, I was super stoked that they made me a single one-off. Yeah. So yeah, this is GM26 spline in here. The rest of this is a K-series twin disc. Okay, so we'll be using a hydraulic clutch release bearing, hopefully. Like I said before, may or may not end up using a hydraulic clutch release bearing. But yeah, action clutch. Man, they really don't skimp on any of this. This is super nice. So what I'm gonna do also is, since they assembled it a certain way, they assembled it this way, I'm gonna go ahead and mark all these where they were, just to keep everything in the right spot. So I'll put a white paint mark every, you know, to realign these when I go to assemble it. And then, yeah. All powder coated on the back. The front's all machine finish. Yep, this has been what we've been waiting for. So now what we'll do is we'll get this on. We'll start taking some measurements from the mating surface area right here out to the front of the clutch assembly right here. So that's kind of why I needed to put the motor together, was because we need a crank in a block, and I don't have an extra crank for the mock-up motor. So we need a crank in a block to be able to bolt this to start taking measurements. And I tried using Doug's before, like I said in the other video. I tried using Doug's to kind of get a rough idea, his comp twin disc. But yeah, man. Now that we have this one here, we can get exact measurements, and then we can start, I'll get a hold of QuickTime, the owner of QuickTime, and he'll be able to do us up a bell housing, a custom depth bell housing, or we could end up using a generic depth, which is like 6.4 inches is a generic depth bell housing. So if we ever just want to swap the bolt pattern and run like a T56, we can run like a T56 style dog box or something like that later on. If for whatever reason the lenco doesn't work out, or we want to make a change, we can do that. So just, you know, 26 spline input shaft on a regular T56, and we get to keep using this clutch, and we get to keep using the bell housing. We just change the transmission if that's ever the case that we, you know, that we want to do. So yeah, pretty cool little update. Action clutches here with a vengeance. Big stickers. Tell me where they want to go. Where you guys want them? I don't know, man. Back window, top of the back window, and then have a spare, or down the side. Man, I don't know. On the door, on the bottom of the door. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks Eric and Byron over at Action Clutch. You guys are badass. They're the guys that helped me out with this whole deal. I call them and they're like, man, no problem. That's not even that bad. I'm like, I mean, I guess. It's unknown to me, you know, all this stuff. So it's good to know and talk to people who know what they're talking about and what they're doing. It just makes it a lot easier on a build like this. You know, nobody's stuck. Well, I won't say nobody because then I sound like, you know, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But to my knowledge, nobody's put a lenco behind a K series before. Now, the only person really that ever used a lenco was a long time ago. Stefan or Steven Papadakis used a lenco behind a C30, the NSX motor, and he used a 4-speed lenco CS1, same setup that I have, and he went 6.5. I can't remember the mile an hour. I think it was like 208 or so 220, something like that. Maybe it was more. But anyways, so yeah, other than that, everybody else kind of uses auto trannies and stuff like that. And, you know, even though that's cool, that's very unique to have a K series with a GM auto tranny. I still wanted to remain a clutch car. We can make the car legal for True Street if it's a clutch car with a sequential transmission. So I wanted to keep it, you know, keep it fun, keep it real, as far as the clutch is concerned. I don't really know all that much about torque converters and stuff. You know, the companies do help you a lot, but with this, there is no guesswork for torque converters. So yeah, that's the update.